Two kidnapping incidents. One day. One in Zamfara, in the north. Another in Enugu, in the east. And this is happening in a country whose ruling party came to power promising to defeat insecurity. So let us ask the question plainly. After more than 11 years of APC government, are Nigerians safer? Or has insecurity simply spread into more regions and taken more dangerous forms? Welcome to the Critical Lens Africa, where we go beyond the headlines. On Sunday, the 2nd of August, 2026, terrorists attacked the Kosuwan Doji area of Kaura Namoda local government area in Zamfara State. According to reports, the attackers attempted to enter a military facility and also abducted residents from nearby communities. Troops pursued them and rescued 9 abducted civilians. But the price was painful. 1 army officer and 1 police officer were killed. 2 soldiers were also wounded. That same Sunday morning, suspected kidnappers invaded St. Joseph Catholic Church in Afa, Enugu State, as worshippers gathered for Mass. A seminarian and other worshippers were taken. Residents said the kidnappers were heavily armed. Villagers tried to pursue them, but they were forced to retreat. Pause and think about that. In Zamfara, residents were abducted near a military facility. In Enugu, worshippers were abducted from a church. North hit. East hit. One Sunday. Who is safe? And no, these should not be dismissed as 2 unrelated incidents. They are part of a much wider national pattern. According to security research, thousands of Nigerians were abducted in hundreds of kidnapping incidents between July 2024 and June 2025. That is not a minor crime problem. That is an industry. An industry built on fear. An industry funded by ransom. An industry growing because criminals believe they can seize Nigerians, disappear into forests, and force desperate families to pay for the return of their loved ones. Now let us go back to 2015. The APC did not come to power quietly. It campaigned aggressively against the insecurity under President Goodluck Jonathan. The Chibok schoolgirls had been abducted. Boko Haram controlled territory. Nigerians were angry, frightened, and exhausted. Security became one of the APC's strongest campaign messages. The party promised change. It promised stronger leadership. It promised to defeat terrorism and protect Nigerians. That promise helped the APC win power. And because the APC used insecurity as a standard for judging Jonathan, Nigerians are entitled to use that same standard to judge the APC. There cannot be one standard for Jonathan and another standard for Buhari and Tinubu. If insecurity was evidence of failure in 2015, then continuing mass abductions, bandit attacks, school invasions, village raids, and church kidnappings must also be evidence that something is seriously wrong today. Under Jonathan, the country's most visible security crisis was Boko Haram, mainly in the northeast. That crisis was terrible. Jonathan deserved criticism for his government's failures. But the APC was elected to solve the problem. Instead, the security crisis changed shape. Boko Haram remained active. Banditry expanded across the northwest. Mass kidnapping became a profitable criminal economy. Schools became targets. Highways became dangerous. Farmers became afraid to enter their farms. And now communities in the west and the east are also confronting attacks once discussed mainly as a northern problem. That is the uncomfortable record. The crisis was not eliminated. It multiplied. It spread. And it adapted. President Bola Tinubu did not create all these problems. That must be acknowledged. He inherited terrorism, banditry, and organized kidnapping when he became president. But leadership is not merely about identifying what was inherited. Leadership is about changing it. Tinubu asked Nigerians to entrust him with the presidency. He accepted command of the armed forces. He accepted control of federal security institutions. He accepted the authority. He accepted the resources. Therefore, he must also accept responsibility for the results. And the results must be measured through the experience of ordinary Nigerians. Can Nigerians travel safely? Can farmers enter their farms? Can children attend school without fear of mass abduction? Can Christians attend church? Can Muslims attend mosque? Can families sleep without listening for gunshots in the night? Those are the real security indicators. Not speeches. Not press statements. Not repeated promises that criminals will be brought to justice. The rescue of 9 people in Zamfara deserves recognition. The soldiers and police officers who confronted the attackers showed courage. Some paid with their lives. But Nigerians must understand the difference between rescue and security. Rescue happens after people have already been abducted. Security prevents the abduction from happening. A country cannot measure security success only by counting how many kidnapped citizens were rescued after criminals had already invaded their communities. The government must explain why these attacks keep happening. Who supplies the kidnappers with weapons? Who gives them information? Who protects their movements? Who transfers the ransom money? Where are the major prosecutions? Where are the exposed sponsors? Where are the dismantled networks? And why do so many attackers appear confident that they can strike and escape? These are not opposition questions. They are citizenship questions. Criticizing a government security record is not hatred. It is accountability. President Tinubu and the APC may point to military operations, rescued victims, and arrested suspects. Those efforts should be acknowledged. But occasional victories do not erase a national pattern of abductions. A few successful operations cannot become an excuse for a system that repeatedly fails to prevent the next attack. 2 kidnapping incidents in one day are too much. One in the north. One in the east. Security officers dead. Worshippers abducted. Families thrown into panic. And Nigerians are expected to move on to the next headline. No. This must not become normal. The APC asked Nigerians to judge Jonathan by his ability to protect the country. Today, that same test must be applied to the APC. After more than 11 years controlling the federal government, the party cannot continue behaving like an opposition party analyzing somebody else's failure. It owns the record. It owns the promises. And it must answer for the results. So, as Nigerians examine the future of their country, they should not be distracted by slogans, party loyalty, or emotional speeches. They should examine the evidence. They should compare the promises with the results. They should ask whether their communities are safer. They should ask whether the security situation has improved in their own lives. And they should judge every leader by performance, not propaganda. 2 kidnappings. 1 Sunday. North hit. East hit. Who is safe? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Do you believe the APC has fulfilled its promise to secure Nigeria? Or has insecurity become more widespread under its leadership? Subscribe to the Critical Lens Africa. Like this video. Share it. And turn on your notifications so you do not miss our next analysis. This is the Critical Lens Africa. Beyond the headlines.